Welcome to Cengage Learning's How Do I Create Simple Algorithmic Questions Using Cognero. This is an installment of the Digital Course Support Self-Training video series for instructors. Our agenda for this video is to guide you through the steps of creating a simple algorithmic question by showing you how to create a variable, using that new variable, and adding your new variable to your question to make it algorithmic. So let's get started. An algorithmic question allows you to create a series of questions that recalculates itself. So you only have to write the question once, but be able to implement it multiple times. First, you'll need to either create a question or use one of the questions from your question set. I've created this question. Find the area of a rectangle with a length of 5 feet and a width of 4 feet. To see if this question has any variables, select the Display Question Information button on the taskbar and check Show Variable Status and click OK. As you can see here, it doesn't have any variables. First, I'm going to duplicate this question so we can compare the two questions at the end of this demonstration. Then I'll select Edit from the drop-down menu under the pencil icon of the duplicate question. I'll change the name of the question. Then I'm going to start adding the variable definitions by clicking on Insert, Insert Variable. The variable dialog box will open. Click Add Variable. And we're going to give the variable a name. Please note that there are restrictions on using a variable name. Here is a list of the variable naming rules. A variable must be unique for the current question. It may be up to 32 characters in length, can only contain letters, numbers, and the underscore character. It must begin with a letter and cannot be the same as any of the built-in functions or condition names. To get a list of functions, use the Help screen. Click Help to get a list of the built-in function and conditions. You can minimize this screen while you're working and bring it up at any time. The first thing to do is to name your variable. In this example, I'll call it length. It's a good idea to put a description of what that variable is, but that's optional. So my first variable is called length. I've typed in a description, and in the expression box, this is where you will enter the expression. Use your reference to guide you. Notice as I type, Cognero offers me suggestions. I'm going to use the function rand, which uses integers but no decimals. Within the parentheses, I'll put the maximum number of 9. I can test my variable by using the test button. And then click on OK when I'm finished. Here is our new variable and the information. The next variable I need is for width, so I'll click Add Variable, type in the name width, and add a description. For the expression, I want to use rand again and enter 9 in the parentheses. I'll test my variable by clicking the test button. This will also catch any spelling errors. Next, we want to add variables for our answer. The first answer, A, is the correct answer, so I'll add a variable, name it correct answer, enter in the description, and in the expression, I'll type in length, then add the operator for multiplication, the asterisk, and then add the variable for width. Length times width will give us the correct answer for the area of a rectangle. Make sure to test. Click OK when finished, and here is our new variable. Now I need to enter in my incorrect answers. I'm going to create 3. The first one I'll create is length plus width. For this second incorrect answer, I'll use the formula for finding the perimeter, a common mistake for this type of questions. So, in parentheses, 2 times length plus, in parentheses, 2 times width. You don't need to worry about spacing. Cognero will do that for you. For our last incorrect answer, I'll use another common mistake. 4 times the width. And I'll test my expression. I get an alert this time because I spelt the word width incorrectly. I can then go back, make my change, and I'll test again. And everything is working. So I'll click OK. And we've created all our variables. The next step is to insert each variable where it needs to be in the equation. I'll start by highlighting the number 5, select Insert, Insert Variable, and choose the correct variable. We'll go through each of the variables we've created. Click OK when finished. And we can use the recalculate icon on the taskbar to check that the problem is working correctly. On occasion, there could be some problems. For example, where the variables may give the dimensions of a square, or the length is shorter than the width. To prevent that from happening, we'll need to create some conditions. A condition is an expression that must evaluate to true when a question is recalculated. If any condition in a question evaluates to false, the question is recalculated again. If a question contains a condition that does not evaluate to true in 100 attempts, a warning message appears. To create a condition, select Insert, Insert Variable, click Add Variable, type a name you want to name your condition, in this example, not square. Under the Type drop-down menu, select Condition, for our expression, we need to find the operator we want to express that length and width are not equal values. Use your help reference to guide you. There are 2 operators, exclamation equals and the greater and lesser signs. I'll use the greater than and lesser than signs and add the expression length is less than or greater than width. Make sure to click Test and then OK when finished. And here is our first condition. Next, I'll repeat the process for creating a condition for unique choices. The function for this is unique, and the syntax is unique, and a series of arguments within parentheses. I'll add the correct answer variable and the 3 incorrect answer variables. Make sure to test when you're finished. Note, always use is unique for multiple choice questions so that no 2 answers are ever the same. The last condition I'll add is to test that the length is longer than the width, using the expression length is greater than width. Make sure to test your new condition. When finished, click OK, and here is a list of all the variables and conditions. I can now use the recalculate icon to test my question. I'm now ready to duplicate my questions, creating a whole series of questions based on the area of a rectangle, all from just using one single question. Thanks for taking the time to review this self-training video, and we hope you found it helpful. Please make sure to check out our other self-training videos and resources for more help with your Cengage digital products.